In this video, we will take a look at lambda functions. A lambda function is also known as an anonymous function or a lambda expression. They are a concise way to create small one-line functions in Python without using the def keyword. You might also hear a lambda function being called a throwaway function, and they have three key characteristics. The first is, as mentioned, is that they are anonymous. We do not define a name for the function like we do when using the def keyword when creating a normal function. They are a single expression. A lambda function can only contain a single expression, and the result of this expression is implicitly returned. So we do not have to state to return the result from the expression. It is returned by default. Lambda functions are short and concise one-lines of code used for creating quick, simple functions without needing to define a named function. So let's head over to PyScripter and take a look. Okay, I'm in PyScripter and I'm just going to use the Python interpreter window. We'll first take a look at the syntax for a lambda function, which is the lambda keyword followed by an argument or arguments, which are parameters, and then the expression for the lambda function itself. I'm going to put a comment in front of that and we'll just keep it there to refer back to. So let's take a look at a couple of simple examples using a lambda function. I'll create a variable called add, and I'm going to set this equal to lambda. This lambda function is going to add two numbers together. So we need two arguments, number 1 and number 2. So we'll simply call these num1 and num2. Looking back at our syntax, we need our colon, and now we need the expression, which is simply num1 plus num2. Hit enter. We can now use the add variable and put parentheses and place in two numbers separated by a comma. We'll go with 10 and 5 and hit enter, and you can see we have returned 15. We could go for two other numbers. We'll go 17 and 14 and we get 31. We'll go again and we'll square numbers. So let's create a variable called square, and we'll set this equal to lambda. We need an argument which will just be a number. We'll call it num followed by our colon. And now we want to say num to the power of 2 to square our number. I'll hit enter. Now when we call square and supply in a number into our parentheses, I'll put in 2 here. So we should get 2 squared, which is 4. And I can put in 4. 4 squared is 16. We'll just do one more which checks if a number is odd or even. We'll create a variable called isEven. Set this equal to our lambda function, and now we need our argument, which is a number. You could call these arguments anything you want. That could be x. Put our colon. So if x, no, not x, we're using num. So if num modulo 2 equals 0. So we are using a comparison operator here, which will return true or false. Hit enter. Now we'll call isEven and we'll supply in 7. I'll hit enter and return false because 7 is not even. And we'll go for an even number of 22 and we get true. We'll leave it there for now for lambda functions. We are going to see a little more of them in the next section where we take a look at built-in functions. In this video, we took a look at lambda functions. They are known as anonymous functions, and lambda functions use a single expression, and they can be short and concise, which is useful for creating quick, simple functions. These are also a limitation of lambda functions. Lambda functions are limited to a single expression, which makes them less suitable for complex logic or multi-line operations. Overusing Lambda functions can lead to less readable code, especially for functions that require more explanation or complexity.